let me ask you a different question. Do you feel like you have to prove your investment analysis chops, uh, first, and then say, okay, yes, I can analyze this company, just as well as Mark can or Joe or whatever can, and that the difference is that maybe, well, I'm curious, do you feel like you as a woman can analyze a company led by a woman better than a man can, or how does that work, and what advice would you share?
I don't know. Those are lots of good questions.
I know,
So
sorry.
that's okay. I think the answer is yes. My financial chops are always called into question because I'm a woman and it's unexpected, especially in some of the markets that I work in.
Hmm.
Um, they're called into question much more so than a white man would be called into question, but I don't think they're called into question more so than an African American's chops would be called into question if they're working in Asia or Latin America, or a Latinx person's financial chops would be called into question when working in Asia, right?
Yeah.
Um, I think for me as a woman, I often tell my team that in some countries in which I work, I might as well be an alien because they just can't understand why a woman would
Yeah.
be in finance, right? So I'm kind of this third, I don't even know. I'm like an alien. I'm not a man, I'm not a woman. I'm just an alien. And so my clients can kind of compartmentalize me. I actually think working in the Europe and the US is a bit more of a challenge because I'm acknowledged as being a woman, which is still a bit of an anomaly, but men don't know how to treat me, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so when it comes to looking at companies owned or founded by women, I definitely think I have a distinct advantage. And one of the things that I do as a consultant is to work with clients on understanding the unconscious bias in the investment process. Because the investment process is completely loaded with unconscious bias from the screens that we use to determine who even gets an interview to, again, who's on the investment committee and how are decisions getting made, but also what what metrics and hurdles are we using to determine whether we want to consider an investment and what is considered risky? And like I said
Hmm.
before, when I evaluate a company, if I'm looking at an ag processing company in Kenya, right, that has mostly women in the supply chain picking the crop and women who are packaging the crop, and it's founded by a woman owned firm, I can bring not just the financial chops that I bring, but also my perspective as a woman to say, listen, what kind of leadership do we have in place here? And okay, so you don't have formal financial statements in place, but I can ask them questions to make sure that they understand their incremental profitability. And I can ask them questions that help me get comfortable with, are they efficient? Do they have excess capacity? What my investment horizon look like without having to sit down and see a spreadsheet. And so I
Yeah.
think that's really important when we look at emerging markets.
Do you think, in that example, that the women would open up to you more than a man as well?
I definitely, for sure. I think, and listen, I don't know if it's they open to me other, but I think what is important is that it's more familiar. Now, again, I'm an anomaly, so a lot of women in emerging markets can't see themselves in me, which is fine, right? But I do know, like, the evidence is bearing it out, and I can speak from personal experience that women business owners are looking for a village around them to help them build a
Mhm.
business, right? We're looking for supporters, we're looking for advocates, we're looking for partners. And that plays out in financing in that most male entrepreneurs look at investment capital or a loan from a bank as a transaction. I need a
Yeah.
loan, I need money, these are the
That
terms that I'm willing to
relationship.
accept, take it or leave it, right? And
Hmm.
where women are looking for a relationship, I might be willing to take worse terms on a loan or less ideal terms in a capital stack if I really feel like that investor or that lender gets me and gets my business and wants to see me succeed. And so in many ways, I think we need to take banking and finance for women entrepreneurs back 500 years when it was all relationship banking.
Mm,
and getting away from this transactional banking and like shopping around for the best price, because that's just not how women make decisions. And I think that that's one of the reasons that microfinance was so successful in working with women on smaller businesses. It's because microfinance is all about relationships. It's not about collateral, it's not about financial statements, it's not about growth plans, it's all about relationships.
hmm Understanding, listening, God forbid. Yeah,
And
yeah.
also offering advice, right? Being able to say, oh wow, you don't, so I could say to a woman entrepreneur, you know what, it's okay if you don't know how the difference between a balance sheet and a statement of cash flows. I'm not going to judge you for that, but can we agree that you need to bring someone onto your team that can fill that function for you, right? So I'm not passing judgment, I'm not condoning her for not having it. I'm saying, listen, let's bring someone onto your team. I'm here with you to help you be successful. And you know what? I know 3 or 4 people in this market that might be able to help you with it. Let me help you with it. And I think it's
Great.
just a different approach.
Yeah, yeah. It gets back to that TA piece, the relationship piece.